happy February. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Why haven't I posted in 10 days? We were displaced after an ice storm hit our very small town. So we had to relocate for a hotel or 2 hotels for almost a week until power came back in our town. So my safety, my daughter's safety, and my grandmother's safety was top priority. So I had to take a little pause, but that's okay because we're back. I almost said happy Valentine's Day. But anyways, happy February once again. As you can see, I have on my Valentine's Day PJs again. I know you may have seen these pajamas in another video. This is not why you're here. Let's stay focused and let's get into this video, okay? So now that we have addressed that and got that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about 10 habits that made me more financially literate. Let me be honest, I did not grow up financial literate. Nobody sat me down and explained money. Nobody taught me how to budget, how to save, how to invest, or even how to plan for long term. I learned through my mistakes throughout my 20s, stress, and being tired of always feeling like I was behind. What changed my life was not a raise, a business idea, or a viral moment. I began to simply start adapting rich habits. Not rich people habits in a flashy kind of way, but habits that rich people live by each day. In this video, I will be sharing 10 habits that made me financial literate, helped me understand money, and changed how I move, save, and plan. So if you want to stop guessing with money and start feeling more confident, then this video is for you. So habit number 1, I learned money and how it worked before I even tried to make more money. One of the biggest mistakes that people often make is trying to make more money when they truly don't even understand the value or understand how money works. Financially literate people learn how money flows, how debt works, how insurance works, and how their habits affect the outcomes. I started watching finance videos, reading books, listening to podcasts, and I'm not talking about those overnight success stories, but those that provided foundational education. Once you understand money, every dollar works for you. So I'm going to share with you all one book that I did purchase a few years ago. I seen my friend post this particular book on her story one time, and I was in a place in my life where I wanted to get a hold of my finances and actually, just learn as much as I could to get myself out of the hole that I was in. And this book is by Paris Woods, and it's called The Black Girl's Guide to Financial Freedom. You build wealth, retire early, and live the life of your dreams. And I actually think I'm going to start rereading this on today so I can just get a refresher and just celebrate the things that I have also accomplished since I have read this book. This book is on Amazon, and I can actually provide the link for you all in the description box so that you can go ahead and secure yours as well. So if you're interested in reading a book about financial literacy or financial freedom, then I would highly suggest this book to you. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to habit number 2. Habit number 2, I started tracking my money even when it began to feel uncomfortable. Even when I wasn't just making a lot of money, I was making a decent amount, I still learned to track every dollar. Rich habits require honesty. I started tracking every bill, every subscription, every impulse purchase, and every paycheck. This wasn't about restriction. It was about awareness. You cannot manage what you don't measure. Once I saw where my money was actually going, I could finally make changes that truly mattered. Habit number 3, I stopped trying to look rich. Financial literacy often happens when you stop trying to perform for others. I stopped overspending to keep up, buying things for validation, or confusing luxury with wealth. Wealth, honestly, is quiet. Financially literate people prioritize net worth, not appearances. Once I detached my identity from spending, my finances improved immediately. And this simply goes back to, for example, when girls are going to different events or girls are like going out of town and stuff like that. Every single time they're running to Fashion Nova, they're running to Shein, they're running to pretty little things and things of that nature to get new outfits for every event, for every occasion. You mean to tell me you cannot go into your closet and find you something that you can restyle a different way from what you wore it the first initial time? Every single time you need a new outfit, every single time you need a new pair of shoes. Like, these are the things that we have to start thinking about, because these are some of the things that's keeping us broke. Like, hello. And I'm not saying that you cannot like nice things, but don't let the nice things have you broke. If you know for sure you're gonna be broke after you have bought this nice gift or whatever for yourself, you don't need to be buying it. Simple. If you can't buy it twice, you don't need it. That's the rule of thumb. Habit number 4, I built systems and not just goals. Goals are great, however, systems are better. Instead of saying I want to save more, I built the systems. Automatic savings, separate accounts, budget categories, weekly money check-ins. Rich habits remove emotions from money decisions. System makes discipline a lot easier. Habit number 5, I treated my saving like a bill. I just literally told someone this the other day. You have to pay yourself first. You have to put your savings on automatic, because if you don't, you're gonna talk yourself out of doing it every single time. Savings stopped being optional and it became negotiable. You need an emergency fund, you need sinking funds, and you also need a long-term savings. Even small amounts matter when you are constantly consistent. Saving isn't about your income or how much or how little you make. It's simply about priority. Now, I will use myself for example. I have a checking account for like my bills and future like home expense account. I have a checking account that I'll just like order things or go out to eat and stuff like that for, or fun money. I have a regular savings account and I have a car savings account, simply because I want to eventually get another car. And I also have a high yield savings account that automatically is drafted each month, and out of sight, out of mind. And it builds, like it builds fast. You can put as little or as much money as you would like in there, as long as you are building a consistent habit. Habit number 6, I learned the difference between good debt and bad debt. Not all debt is equal, and financially literate people should know this. Bad debt means high interest rates, no long-term value, and it's impulse driven. Good debt is strategic, planned, and supports your future growth. Understanding interest, terms, and long-term costs changed how I borrowed and repaid. Habit number 7, I budgeted for joy and not just survival. One reason people fail financially is simply because they make money miserable. I learned to budget for fun, plan enjoyment, and spend intentionally. Financial literacy isn't about deprivation, it's about alignment. When money supports your life, you're more likely to stay consistent. I myself am always gonna go out and have me a little fun. Now, some things that I have kind of cut back on when I do go out is buying like alcoholic beverages, because you know your bill can be, you know, straight. Then you start adding on all the drinks and stuff like that, and it can skyrocket your bill. So I don't make it a habit of like every time I go out I just get a drink. Like the last time I went out to the Mexican restaurant, I didn't get a margarita, I just got a water and a Sprite. I mean, it's just that simple. It's way cheaper than alcohol. Alcohol can sometimes, you know, jack up our bills when we are out on these outings. But however, if you do plan for your enjoyment, then you should be fine, as long as you don't go overboard and you just stick to the budget. Habit number 8, I had regular money check-ins. Rich habits are built through consistency and not intensity. I started doing weekly check-ins, monthly reviews, and quarterly adjustments. I asked what worked, what didn't, and what needed to change. This habit alone made me more confident with my money. I know that sometimes we have seen like people making jokes about being out of town, or you know, being a part of like weekend activities, and they don't check their accounts until they get home, when they be like, I'll deal with it when I get home. That's literally actually the worst thing you can do, because if you're not watching your money, even though it's there, it can have you ended up in some situations. It's just that simple. So you want to make sure you are just not spending your money carelessly. You want to make sure that you are paying attention so you're never just caught off guard or an unexpected expense hits your account. You just want to make sure that you're well prepared and just be aware of the money that you are spending. Habit number 9, I started to think long term and not just from paycheck to paycheck. Financial literate people plan ahead. I started thinking about future goals, unexpected expenses, lifestyle choices, and long-term security. When you plan long-term, short-term decisions improves automatically. Habit number 10, last but not least, I made financially literacy part of my identity today. The biggest shift happened when I stopped telling myself that I was bad with money or I wasn't good at managing my money. I started telling myself that I am truly learning how money actually works. Rich habits stick when they become part of who you are. I became a person who plans, learns, adjusts, and also improves. And from that point forward, everything changed for the better for me. Financial literacy does not mean being perfect. It's about being intentional. Of course, these habits did not change my life overnight. They changed my life over time. If this video did help you, I want you to comment locked in so that I'll know that you are serious about your financial journey. And if you want more videos about money, habits, and building a better life, make sure that you are subscribed so you'll never miss a video. We're not just surviving, we're learning, growing, and building. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next video.